Yeah.
Welcome to That One Five Show, part of That One Gaming Show.
The newest series on That One Gaming
The newest of series following our other last series.
Hey Cam,
Yeah.
why can't Ray Charles see his friends?
I don't know.
Because he's married.
That could have went so wrong. Anyways, again, welcome
to night, day, morning,
whenever this airs. I'm really tired right now because at this point in time I've been awake for too long.
You got up at like
8.
It's 9.
I've been away for 12 hours, but I worked for most of it, and I had to deal with stupid people.
Anywho,
so
what this show is gonna be?
We're
going to do our absolute bestest to release nightly episode or daily episodes, and they're going to be shorter, clearer, more concise. Usually only cover 1 or 2 stories, and hopefully that'll give us the opportunity to give you like better, more enriched content.
Yes.
And we won't be struggling on
cutting everything down to 30 minutes at most. Talking for something about something for like 5 seconds. We're like, all right, next.
So yeah, tonight on the show we're going to discuss 2 things. Well, at least 2 things. We might ramble on a little bit.
There might be some other things.
Number 1, we're going to discuss EA's Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
It's going to come out for Christmas. It's going to be out in time for Christmas, or the holidays to be politically correct. And number 2,
GenCon, hopefully moving.
Well, either hopefully moving or getting this bill to not be signed.
And even if they did move, it's not going to be for a while, so like 5 years.
I don't know. I think if you make $50 million, you make enough to buy out a contract.
Yeah, but it doesn't make Gen Con itself $50 million. It makes the convention center in the city $50 million based off of...
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I know. It's based on ticket sales. Like jobs at the convention center, hotels, restaurants.
Yeah. Hotels are probably the biggest one, actually.
But let's lead into that. Start talking about that. So what's happening in Indiana right now is Governor Mike Pence. The Pacers, are they losing?
Yeah, I don't know right now, but I mean they're not making the playoffs.
Not good. But Mike Pence, the governor of Indiana, he's got this bill on his desk, and he says he's going to sign it, but what's in the bill is it's going to allow local businesses or businesses in Indiana to basically discriminate against same-sex couples.
Which is stupid.
That's pretty much sums it up. It's a really dumb thing.
Stupid.
Like we're in the 21st century now. Why is this still an issue?
People in many states are now able to marry whoever they want to marry. Yet now it's like all of a sudden, let's make it so that at least in Indianapolis, probably the whole state though, isn't it? Yeah.
It's
Governor.
Indiana.
So yeah, it'd be the whole state. Now it's gonna be like, oh, by the way, you and your boyfriend or you and your girlfriend can't go into this place because
it's not you can't go in. It's that they can refuse service.
Well, it's basically
you because you're homosexual.
Yeah, like you can't have this burger. I'm sorry.
And this all started in I think it was Arizona with that damn wedding cake shop.
Yeah.
And it got all the way to state Congress. They got this bill, and they were like, "All right, should we approve this?" And there was this huge uprising, and it ended up not going through. Then apparently other states got it in their heads that, hey, maybe this would be a popular decision. And I get it. Indiana's a conservative state, apparently.
I didn't know that when I went there.
I didn't either. I mean, I didn't go there, but I never thought Indiana would be a conservative, more leaning towards a conservative state.
No, and I don't think that, like, all right, so it shouldn't be something that is being like a bill needs to be passed. Like I'm against the whole thing. Like anybody should be able to walk in anywhere and order something, get it, customer service, I've worked in it. I'm going to give you your fast food. I'm going to give you whatever you want. You make money. Money.
Yeah, well,
So it's if a establishment themselves wants to be a bunch of dicks and say something and do something like this, then let them do it and take the. But right now,
yeah, to sign
nobody's going to
it
want to go to
to
Indianapolis and
sign
go to
it
Indiana.
into law is the governor saying governor who is supposed to represent the citizens of Indiana saying that this is what the citizens of Indiana want,
Yeah.
or at least
Not-
the majority of the citizens
If this
of Indiana
makes it
want.
through, not only do I see this guy not ever being governor again, I don't see him making it out of any seat anywhere. Unless he wants to go to, like, I don't know, a state that's really stupid with all this stuff.
And Gen Con attracts, what was it, 58, 56, 54,000
About a
people?
total of 56,000 people a year. I was there last year. There was a crap ton of people there. And
they
for
brought,
4
they brought
days,
they brought in the city of Indianapolis more than $50 million.
4 days. And it's just, our nerd culture is made up of so many different people. So many different kinds of people.
The whole thing with nerds is nobody's weird on the internet. Well, for the most part.
I don't know.
Like, for the most part, where, like, the internet is a very accepting place.
Yeah. And
it's kind of harder to say that now with this whole Gamergate bullshit and things like that.
I was walking last year the halls of Gen Con, and
the very empty, sporadic halls of Gen Con.
They were definitely packed at certain places. But I mean, I met a ton of different people, lots of different people. There's dudes that were dressed up like girls, and it's cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've done it. Then I will do it at the Minneapolis Comic-Con.
What I've always thought with, like, conventions and things like that is it should be like a place where people can gather and feel free to express themselves.
Yeah.
In the way they want to.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have to feel repressed.
You shouldn't. You go to Gen Con, and then halfway through the day, you're hungry, you want to go to the burger joint next door, and you can't get a burger because you're wearing something that makes you seem like you might be gay.
Or you go there with, your boyfriend.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Your girlfriend, if you're a
girl.
Or
even if you're going there and you're not, and somebody just assumes you are, they can kick you out. Like, that's what this is going to be.
It's unreal, really. Like, apparently I'm setting my expectations too high for humanity. Given we come from Minnesota, we're a very liberal state. Pretty much everything's okay here.
We paint our bridges multiple rainbow colors.
Just for funsies.
Twice a year. So, it's...
I mean, isn't Pride...
it's a whole week-long
biggest things in the country.
Yeah, and we have a huge event here for that. I feel like, Gen Con, from where I'm at now, is only 9 hours away.
Really? It's only 9 hours?
So it's not the worst drive in the world.
It's pretty shitty.
It's a nice place to have it because you can get there in one day from multiple places across this country.
What if we had it in, like, Kansas?
But if we had it in, you could still get there
smack dab in the middle
in one day.
Yeah, but if we put it smack dab in the middle, more people could get
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt Indianapolis. I don't think it'll hurt any. It'll be great for any other state if it leaves the state of Indiana. If it leaves the state of Indiana.
Unless they don't get it.
Unless they don't get it, of course. But even if they don't get it, are they really hurting right now? Probably not.
They probably got all sorts of...
Honestly, they could probably do a convention like this more than one place. And I think they do a winter one, but the winter one's not as big.
They could probably get away with doing, like, a traveling con.
And I think the reason why they do it at the Indianapolis Convention Center is because it's, like, 4 times the size of most of them. Except maybe LA. I think LA, it still has some...
Well, LA is the biggest, isn't it?
I think it's either the biggest or the second biggest. Indianapolis might actually have the biggest.
Given there's always Texas.
No, I've been there. No.
Oh, no?
No. But our whole convention center, just about, can fit into a hall.
Are you sure? Which convention center were you at in Texas?
I wasn't at one. I drove past one. It didn't really seem as big. But the one hall that they had the gaming in, the actual board games, the card games you could play, which Magic the Gathering took up one by itself. That hall fits about over half of the Minneapolis Convention Center. So it's a huge place. It's a great place for them to be, and they will have to probably cut down on certain things or cut back on some stuff because they have so many rooms, there's so many showcases, 2 floors. Their convention center is 2 floors of, and it's not just like they have a couple of rooms upstairs either. They have another hall upstairs. So,
okay, well, back to the story. The bill, it's not like the states they've sort of always had, like, you know how you go into a restaurant and they say we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone for any
and that's
reason.
the way it needs to stay.
But what this bill would do is it would prevent state and local governments from substantially burdening a person's exercise of religion unless the government can prove it has a compelling interest and is doing so in the least restrictive means. So basically what this is doing, it's sort of like the whole Hobby Lobby thing, where Hobby Lobby was all like, well, we don't want to provide birth control to our employees because we're religious.
Yeah.
And what gets to me a lot is the whole thing with, in the Constitution, you're supposed to keep church and state separate.
And it doesn't, like, at all. Basically, so what you're saying is this will make it so is it some kind of like if
a business discriminates against you because of your lifestyle,
yes,
you can't take any legal action.
Yeah.
Because government.
So let's
can't
say
do anything
you walk into a place, somebody has a very religious belief and that owns this place, yet you're going against it. They can just kick you out.
Yeah.
Which it's not like they couldn't do that now. They just can't say why they're doing it. They could say but now it's like you get kicked out if you're obnoxious. If you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, like
they can't just straight up just kick you out without
getting. If a guy walks into a wedding cake shop with a turban, are you gonna kick him out?
In Indianapolis or Indiana, yes. Yeah, I mean, if I walk in looking like I might be gay, which happens every now and then, let's be honest, it kind of does. My shorts don't always
just
go
every
down.
Now and then.
Shut up! They don't hold your hand when we walk in, but they're just going to be able to say, oh, by the way, we don't want to serve your kind here, which that's how bad this is going to get. This isn't just the fact of like not being able to serve or them not wanting to serve same-sex couples or same. It's now you can be turned away for anything.
Yeah, and what's going to happen next is people aren't going to be providing their employees with contraceptives, which is a basic part of medical insurance.
Yeah,
is coverage for contraceptives, and this is basically giving companies the freedom to just ignore whatever laws and statutes they want.
If the company doesn't like it,
just because they don't like it,
then
they don't want to do it.
And yeah, then they don't have to do it. It's basically what this is going to be.
It's nippy down here.
This is the closest to politics this show needs to ever get, because I don't want those angry hate mail and letters and things.
Well, if you
disagree, to hear what people have to say on this.
If you disagree or if you completely agree, if anything, throw it in the comments. Be respectful. Post an intelligent argument. And just, yeah.
And we'll talk about it, I'm sure, on a future one of these, because we need something.
What I didn't know, which is weird because I should know these things, is that Indiana has a Republican-controlled Senate. But the vote on Tuesday came to a final tally of 40-10 in favor of this bill.
Wow. So there were 10 people that
80% of the state Senate wants this bill to go through.
And the governor said he's going to pass it. He said that he doesn't even so much care what GenCon's currently saying.
Well, he doesn't care what anybody thinks.
He's going to pass it no matter what.
But apparently this is what the most people want, because these are all elected officials.
The way it's looking is, at least by 2020, GenCon's not going to be in Indianapolis anymore. They've already talked about not being in Indianapolis. But I think it's a great location for it, because nobody wants to go to another con that's way on the West Coast or way on the East Coast, and that's where all the big ones are. This is a big con that doesn't revolve around video games. It only revolves around really board games, tabletop, and card games. That's it. So but it's their biggest, and it's one of their only ones. We have like one in this state, and there's a couple in other states, and I guess there's some kind of Gen Con thing that happens in the winter that I kind of sort of heard about when I was looking on the website.
Half exists.
I'm not going this year.
Oh, you decided not to?
No, I'm going to like 3 other cons that are
Didn't they
here.
buy
so.
you the ticket already?
No, I told them not to. So if they buy the ticket, they're just
I thought
out
you said
$80.
They already bought you the ticket.
And it is only $80 for this ticket.
You're welcome to come to HoopCon.
So, but I don't have. That's like $100 for that ticket.
No,
so,
it's $60.
Oh well, that's a lot less.
Anyways,
I could dress like the not Doctor.
Let's move on to story numero dos. Star Wars Battlefront announced that it's going to be released at the end of this year. What do you think about that?
I think that as soon as I heard about this, I wanted to start my PS2 and put in Battlefront 2 again.
Yeah, as like I haven't really been keeping up to date with this story. Like Battlefront 2 is the Battlefront series is one of my favorite games ever. It was my first-person shooter, and I've been waiting for this for years now.
It's a third person.
Oh, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean.
The Battlefront series has 3 games in it right now. There's 1, 2, and that really awful one that was on like the PSP. It's one of the only franchises that I like, and
that's based on Star Wars.
That is based on Star Wars because I can't think of any other one that I really liked playing except for maybe like the Lego ones and that the one based off of Attack of Clones.
I like the Force Unleashed.
The first one's good. The second one's not so much, at least in my opinion.
What about Knights of the Old Republic?
I didn't play it.
Oh,
I played Knights of the Old Republic. I didn't play the Old Republic.
Oh.
2 different games and series. But no, it was a game that in the first one, the second one was pretty much the same game except it added the fact that you could go Jedi versus Sith on like Mos Eisley or something like that. And
yeah, it was Mos Eisley that you could do Jedi versus Sith.
It didn't add so much. Like it didn't really add too much more to the story. There wasn't like a continued story. So
did anybody ever play the campaign mode?
I did.
I mean, I played through some of it, but it was all.
In the second one, it lets you play through like episodes 1, 2, and 3, so that's what it added. But I feel that of any game franchise out there that continues to basically do the same thing without adding another story, this is the best one just because of the gameplay itself and the fact that they only have 2 that I've played.
I would put, as far as like what you just said goes, I would put this up there with like Sly Cooper for PlayStation.
I could play Sly Cooper over, and that game's great. I have to go based off of my PlayStation games because I can sit there and play. I'm a huge Halo fan. We all know that, but I can only play Halo one. Like maybe I've played it 3 times. Like this, I could play through the story mode. I could play through all of it over and over again because of the way it's set up.
Play on the maps just forever.
And the same thing with like Sly Cooper, even Ratchet and Clank. That's another one. But like God of War, I played it once and I'm good. So they still don't have a new trailer out that I've seen. I've only seen the 2014 and 2013 E3 ones.
Well, we could watch the trailer. I'll try to throw it up in the video here.
And
see if I can make that happen.
However, it looks like we're going back to like Hoth. I'm wondering if we're going to have if Star Wars Episode 7, which comes out later this year, is going to have any effect on Battlefront. I don't really think so. I think we're just going to get another Battlefront that's based off of Episodes 1 through 6. And I'm okay with that. I really just want to play an updated version of the game. And I'm happy that they're not just re-releasing it. I'm happy that they're
remastering
it.
A whole new
they're not making a definitive edition. But I'm happy that it's going to be looking brand new. It looks like I'm watching a movie. Speaking of that, did you see the like 10-minute
Elder Scrolls one?
No, did you see the 10-minute Star Wars mini short like some fan made? It was an animated thing that like it was the TIE Fighter this TIE Fighter battle, and the Republic or the Empire actually won the battle, and it was pretty good. If it looks that was like anime, and it was awesome. But this looks like it's great. I've seen it now 2 years in a row.
All right, we'll watch the ad now. If it doesn't play for you, there'll be a cut.
Anyways, so
So what would be cool? What I think would be cool is if when you're playing this game, if it looked as close to the trailer as possible during gameplay.
yeah, I definitely, as great of a game, the last Star Wars game that came out was. As good as those games, I want this to look like, and I don't really want to say it, but Call of Duty, like the way that their cinematic trailers, and you go right into gameplay, it doesn't go down that much in like the graphics wise. So hopefully the graphics for this are great.
As good as we expect for a game that's been being put
real
off
high
for
quality.
how many
I want
years
those 60 frames per second.
Even though your eye can't really pick
That's
up 60 frames per second.
That's fine.
Everyone says it looks smoother, but it really doesn't make that big a difference.
No, and the big, I'm most excited for about this game, even though by that time it really won't matter.
What?
It's not just on the PlayStation.
Oh yeah, it's everything.
It's on PlayStation, Xbox One, and PC. So get on it. Get it out there. Show me a real trailer.
So what are we gonna get it for then? PC, Xbox, or PS4?
Probably PS4 still.
Okay.
But
so does that mean we're gonna need two of them if we're gonna play together?
No, it's probably hopefully gonna have split screen still.
Do we do split screen? Have we evolved? Haven't we evolved past split screen?
Eventually it will be like two multiple things.
Fuck, we don't even have two TVs right now.
No, right?
I mean, we would have two, but one doesn't work.
Kind of going off the Star Wars talk, but staying with EA, the Battlefield was awful. Battlefield Hardline was awful. I told people to buy it because it was like the biggest release this week, and it sucks.
There's nothing. Well, actually, you didn't tell them to buy it because I don't think that's
biggest
the
release on the
published.
17th.
I don't think that's the one. I think that's the video YouTube refused to publish.
No, it came out on the 17th. That's the 17th video. I think it was on there.
Oh.
Bloodborne was on that one too.
Okay.
Go buy Bloodborne.
Well, just kidding.
Don't go buy Battlefield Hardline.
Go buy Bloodborne. I've heard nothing but great things about it.
If you have like a free rental somewhere, get Battlefield Hardline and play the story mode. Skip the multiplayer. The multiplayer is awful. The multiplayer is like playing Call of Duty when it came out.
I watched someone stream Bloodborne two nights ago.
They died how many times?
A lot.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like so much fun.
You thought that other game was
Dark Souls?
Dark Souls was difficult. Bloodborne, the creator of Bloodborne,
the creator of the game can't beat his own game. Which says something really awesome.
I need a PS4 to play this.
I do too.
So bad.
I need to play it and I need to beat it.
Anyways, yeah, I'm not even going to, I was going to do a review on Battlefield, but I'm not going to do a review. I'm just going to say here that I played the multiplayer, and the multiplayer gets a solid 1.
Is it just every other multiplayer?
It is, but if you take graphics back to like 360 when it came out.
Okay.
And you have 4 classes. There's no point in getting anything else for those 4 classes because it's on a server that's dedicated to have like 64 people playing at once.
Mm.
And the respawns it doesn't even respawn you like on a team side. It doesn't respawn you by your team. It's random. So I respawned in like a group of people that just as soon as I respawned, I was dead. I respawned and I was right in the line of sight of somebody that just could pick me off. And that's another thing is like even if you're a sniper sitting there picking one guy off, picking another guy off, the maps are so open that you can't camp as a sniper either. Which I'm not a camper. I'm not really a sniper person, but I still like the maps that you have to go around certain places because you can't just run through them and you're gonna get shot. Like this one, I could snipe somebody that was being another sniper across the field, and I don't know. The maps are just too big for the amount of people that aren't playing the game, and there's no point in dumbing down graphics. Just do what Call of Duty does. The game a multiplayer would have been so much better if they were to do what Call of Duty does, or what other shooters do.
I think that what they were trying
to do is way too big.
Yeah, they were trying to set themselves apart by going bigger, but in going bigger, they sacrificed a lot, like graphics and class customization.
Yeah, everything got dumbed down just to say, hey, we can run 64 people, which doesn't say much because I've played computer games that I can run 64 people that look way better.
PC games are a lot different.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm talking like Guild Wars looked better than this. Guild Wars, the first Guild Wars looked better than this did. You know, those are huge games that those servers have to handle the game itself, and everything has to handle the amount that's going on in that game. Whereas this needs to just handle 64 people on a map that are shooting each other. You don't have to dumb the graphics down that much, I think. But apparently
Maybe
you do. It's not like
release.
they haven't been working on this game since they released Battlefield 3.
Maybe they were rushing the release. Maybe they were like, alright, let's bask in the glory of all this money we get.
I didn't play it, but I have heard the Battlefield Hardline story mode is a lot better, so hopefully I might play it.
I didn't even know you even had the multiplayer.
I had it for a day. I got a free rental from Redbox.
Oh.
And it was barely worth that, so
Hair on my nose.
If you want to play the game, honestly, just rent it from somewhere. Don't spend $60 on it. It's not worth $60 unless you're a really big die-hard Battlefield fan. It's not. Or you like cops and robbers. It's not worth $60 at all. Just don't get it.
And that's our show.
That's our show.
Thank you for watching. We went a little over the time we anticipated, but that's okay. We were shooting for 15 minutes.
Technical difficulties.
We were shooting for 15 minutes. We're pushing 45.
Technical difficulties. We had a lot to talk about.
But that's okay. We will see you guys again on Monday. It'll take a weekend off. Oh, tomorrow's Friday.
Well, we're doing the release of the show tomorrow.
Are we?
We're talking about like 5 games.
Okay.
I got like 10 minutes at work. So.
Thank you for watching.
Anyways, thank you. So join us again for another ThatOneFiveShow.
Leave a like, comment below.
And check out That One Gaming Show. Not like they're not that much different. This one's
not all short. This one's just we're trying to make it shorter.
One topic with more of them. And check out this guy's Let's Plays.
My really weird Let's Plays.
Only one. I didn't listen to this one. Did you? Yeah. But check those out. We're gonna post on multiple things. And yeah. And then
anyways, this is a really long outro.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
I don't know what that was. Is that you being creepy down there? Playing that game and whispering to yourself in the dark?